providing its members with free access to 24/7 memorial concierge services. With the consent of the beneficiary, Fidelity Life shall apply the insurance benefit to cover the expenses for the memorial services of the deceased member. At Fidelity Life, the care of our members and their families is our first and most important business. Be life confident by protecting your loved ones and securing your future.
Someday, you will get older, slower, grayer, but also wiser, calmer, and freer than ever. At Kaiser, we help you prepare for those years ahead, so you can keep doing what you love with the people that matter the most. Prepare for your future today. Kaiser International Health Group, the first name in healthcare.
Before IMG,
I was a civil engineer.
Accountant.
I was a plain housewife.
Before IMG, I used to be a doctor.
I was a maintenance crew.
Factoring operator.
I'm a housewife.
I was an accounting clerk.
I am a medical doctor.
I am an engineer.
Before IMG, I used to be a teacher.
I was a government employee.
A production worker.
I am a bank employee.
Before IMG, I was an admin staff.
I was a seaman.
A design engineer.
I was a deli manager.
I was a telecom engineer.
Before IMG, I was quality director.
I used to be a doctor. Production operator. An industrial engineer.
IT home-based freelancer.
Before IMG, I was a manufacturing specialist.
I was an exporter.
Admin officer.
I was a florist.
Before IMG, I was a service crew.
I'm great.
I am great.
I am
G. I am great. IMG. IMG.
IMG. I am great. I am
MG.
I am great.
I am great.
I am great.
Mayong buntag mga kauban, welcome to another episode of Open Line News Media Forum on MyTV Cebu, where all of our lines are open to discuss the latest and most relevant issues in terms of business, economics, health, among many others. My name is 𝗟𝗶H, and joining me is my co-host and co-moderator, Mr. Eric Espina. Good morning, Sir Eric.
Thank you very much, partner. Good to see you again, and it's good to be back. Especially sa open line. So, tanan na itong mga higalang nga kauban kay pagkawan gwapo itong topic karon kuan partner.
Yes.
All about kuan.
Health sa ato ang mga pets.
Sa mga tao o sa mga mananap.
Yes. And at the same time, sa atong mga concerns regarding our senior citizens. And nasa tay guest karong buntaga kabahin sa sports. So, well-rounded good atong discussion this morning.
Napatay kunsihal, no?
Yes, tinuod. So once again, maayong buntag sa tanan, and we would like to thank our venue partner for this Tuesday morning, Waterfront Cebu City Hotel and Casino. And of course, we would also like to acknowledge our partners and presenters. Daghan kaayong salamat to International Marketing Group or IMG, the Total Financial Solutions, Manila Bankers Assurance, the Life and Non-Life Company, company and the best way to show your love. Kaiser International Health Group Incorporated, nasa iyo na ang lahat. Kaiser Medical Center, ang kaagapay mo sa kalusugan, and the Reyes Optical. Daghan sab kayong salamat to our friends from the media who are joining us physically and sa inyong tanan nga nananaw through MyTV Cebu's live streaming on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Again, you are free to join us in the discussion. Just type in your comments, questions, or suggestions for our panelists nga ipaila-ila ni Sir Eric karong buntaga.
Yes, thank you, partner. And hashtag, as always, we always make this forward. Open line is open to all questions and open to all callers. And we're very fortunate today to have none other to my immediate right. Ilado na kayo ni Dr. Mary Jean Loreche, Commissioner, National Commission of Senior Citizens, Region 6 and 7. And then to the left of partner Andy is Dr. Jessica Maribojoc, Head Department of Veterinary Services.
Maayong buntag mga doc, and it's nice to welcome you once again, Doc Jess. No, yes, si Dr. Loreche po, it's also interesting because she wears a different hat already. Kani adto, she was known for heading the Project Palikbuhay, Doc, no, sa katong pagtupag sa atong mga issues kabahin sa COVID. Karon ang mga issues na sa atong mga senior citizens, ang iyahang tubagon karong buntaga. And Doc Jess, of course. Doc Jess, atong sugdan ang topic with Doc Jess. Grabe na kayo ang kainit, and as we all know, no, dili lang ang mga tao ang affected miini, but of course including our animals. And in fact, kagahapon adlaw, Doc, na ako'y mga nakitaan nga nag-post sa ilahang Facebook accounts ba, Doc, nga naa sila yung mga pets nga nag-heat stroke, naglisod og ginhawa ang ilahang mga iro. Unsa man ang ato ang mga tips nga ipanghatag ngadto sa ato ang mga fur parents or sa those who have animals at their home in general?
So, mayong buntag, no, sa atong mga higala na naadiri karon sa atong mga viewers. So, mayong buntag, Miss Andy, mayong buntag, Sir Eric, and mayong buntag, Doc. So, for those pet owners, actually, nagkataas jud ang ato ang temperature karon. So, isa jud sa ato ang mga tan-awunon karon is ang status sa ato ang welfare, especially ang welfare sa ato ang mga mananap, and specifically ang mga pets. So, katong imong giasa ko a while ago, Miss Andy, so unsay mga tips na dapat nato ihatag, no? So, we have to consider sad unsa ng mga pets nato. So, it's not only for those aspen, consider sad ang mga puspin, pati sad tong mga double-coated, katong mga small breed, o katong mga brachycephalic na breeds, kaya naman tayo gitawagod ng mga short-snouted na mga dogs. So, kato sila is we have to take care, extra measures on them. So, especially sa katong mga double-coated na mga dogs. So, what are the tips? So, we have to consider na dapat kung mag-walk ta, we have to consider na dili ting init. Dili ta mga peak siguro sa mga 10 o'clock in the morning, going to the 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, preferably before 8 o'clock or before 7 o'clock. And after mga 5 o'clock, preferably sa afternoon. So, most na itong i-consider. Next is kung mag-walk ta or maglaag sad ta together with our pets, especially if magbakasyon ta, pwede na to, dili na lang dadon, especially sa to ang situation karon sa atong klima. So, pwede na to ibili na lang. O niya, i-consider sad nato na dapat provided sila with the water. And preferably sad is cold water. Kay labi na karon na ngayong hanglan dyan sila kay isasad sa atong timailan anak kung heat stroke or kanang nag-init na gani ang lawas sa atong mananap is kana ganing grabe ang sa ilang ilong nagbasa. That it means na nag-regulate sila sa temperature sa ilahang body to compensate sa katong na kainit na na-feel nila sa ilahang lawas. So, another thing is ang kanang pad sad nila. So, kana siya is dapat bantayanan sad na siya. So, kung kana gani siya is na siya problem, we have to put the dog jud inside sa tuwang house. And then, kung mahimo is mag-provide tag electric fan. Labi na sa mga double-coated na mga dogs, na mga breed is dapat sad sila na nasa sa aircon. If we're talking about double-coated breeds, manggod mo na silang katong mga Alaskan Malamute, mga Siberian Husky, na yung banana nila triple coated. So, masking imo na silang ibutang sa aircon, ma-feel gyapon na nila ang kainit. So kana siya ang mga tips nato kuan. So kung makita na sad nato na naghalhal na sad sila, especially now na makita yun na prominent kay na mga symptoms, halhal, salivation, drooling. It doesn't mean na kung mag-drool sila is that is a rabies. So kana sad siya is we have to consider that one. Ang mga tips sad nato na ihatag sa mga owner for that one is dapat sad ibutang sila sa aircon, and at the same time sad sa katong bugnaw na area. And then kung grabe na jud makita na nimo ang ilang gums is nag-color bright red na siya, so dapat na ta magbutang na taog kanang higdaanan nila bed of ice, not totally na katong directly siya sa ice, but we should put also a cloth kay dapat makul man nato ang ilaha or ma-lower nato ang temp nila. So kung kana siya mga symptoms na akong dimension, makita nato sa mga animals, that is a early sign of heat stroke na siya. So kailangan siya na from elevation of the body temp, kailangan nato mapa-lower down ang ilang temp.
But unsay pinaka-warning nga sign, Doc, nga kinahanglan na gid siya i-rush sa ato ang nearest veterinarian?
Kung makita na nimo sa gums niya from bright red, na turn na siya into gray or bluish na siya, that is critical na on the part of the pet. So dapat na jud abrupt na or emergency case na siya na you should go to the nearest veterinary clinics or hospital na jud with that symptoms na iyang gipakita.
Doc, ni-mention ka nga kung mobiyahe, mas maayo nga ibili na lang no ang mga pets. But unsa sad ang ato ang warning against those owners nga ibilin lagi sa balay pero dito ihigot sa gawas niya, wa jay landong balo kaayo.
Actually, that is a violation of animal welfare na no. So as a pet owner, dapat we have to provide five freedoms a dog, and that is a violation na freedom to provide free to roam or free to express normal behavior. So that one is dapat kung mubiyahe sila, dili jud nila ihigot. So dili nila ibilin sa gawas na walay shed, that could be lead to a death later on. So mas maayo jud na kung ibilin man gani nila sa balay, they should ask or somebody na ilaha yung matrust asa nila ibilin ang dog og ma-taker jud. So kana siya is consider sa jud nato na kinsay reliable guardian if ever na mag-travel ta without our pets, especially with this condition now.
If you could refresh us, Doc, so unsay mga penalties ani, because you mentioned that this is a violation.
Animal welfare, no? So if we're talking about city ordinance lang sa Cebu City, actually at first we will issue a citation ticket for this one. If will not be settled for 5 to 7 days, then we will give a notice of warning coming from the city legal, and then after that, if not settled, so that's the time na i-forward na namo dito sa Kimunda or sa Municipal or Regional Trial Court. But if settle niya, that is a minimum of 2,000 penalty and maximum of 5,000 penalty. So naasa siya duha ka options for that one based on our city ordinance. So pwede siya mo opt into community service. So pwede siya mo encourage og mga pet owners na 5 pets to submit for the spaying. This is for the female dogs. Or pwede nato sila i-community service together with the Sisenro na pwede sila mananom, pwede sila manglimpyo sa community. So mo na options nato. If we're talking about national law, so natay kuan first offense, second offense, third offense. So natay kategory ana. So if we're talking about katong na violate nimo like na undergo maltreatment, na abandon nimo, so kana siya pero wala namatay, buhi siya, so neglected ang dog, walay nahitabo niya, wala siya namatay, that is with a 6 months, pwede ka makulong 6 months to 1 year, and then ang penalty ani is around 30,000. If ang dog is like nakuhaan siya og parte sa iyang lawas, abandon sad siya, neglected, naka-experience siya og maltreatment, nakuhaan siya og mata, nakuhaan siya og tiil, so that is with a fees penalty of 50,000 and pwede siya makulong og 1 year and 1 day to 1 year and 6 months. So kana siya. Kaning another thing is katong higher dako na jud. Mao na jud ni siya ang penalty is 100,000 kung namatay na jud ang iro. Unya mo kuan kung more than pa jud sa 5 dogs, unya kuan ka especially if we are working in a government related ka or foreigner ka, that is a total of 250,000 pesos for the penalty if more than na siya. Gipatay nimo siya naka-experience siya maltreatment, abandonment. So 250,000 and pwede ka makulong into 5 years. Oo. So kana siya ang mo na siya bag-o ron na kuha niya gi-amend pa jud na siya karon. Actually na bill sa nagipapasa na bag-o lang mga 2 weeks ago dito sa Senate.
Last question ako, Doc, nga El Nino related. Nahisgutan mo ang mga safety measures for pets at home, no? Kaning ato ang mga dogs and cats. How about for livestock? Ato ang, especially sa atong mga agriculture, Doc ba? Baka, kanding, kabaw.
Okay. Sa ato jud sa Department of Veterinary Medicine and Fisheries, nami restrictions with regards of our mandates between the veterinary and the agriculture side. Because agriculture side is more on production. On our side is more on veterinary management, disease surveillance, monitoring. So as of now, actually nagsubmit ta tag action plan last year pa lang sa disaster. Na unsay buhaton nato if ever na moabot na. Actually December pa lang last year. Nagprepare na taani. So, unsay mga gipambuhat nato ron sa bukid is we are conducting surveillance, especially now na not only especially for the El Nino, there might be a tendency na manggawas jud ni ang mga livestock animal diseases, especially the transboundary diseases. If we are talking about transboundary diseases, this is avian influenza, FMD, anthrax could be one. So FMD is foot and mouth disease, which is different from the foot and hand disease sa human. So kana siya ASF, isasad na siya na transboundary diseases na i-consider nato. So kana siya is more on monitoring surveillance as of until now, and then we have to provide the rehydration for those animals to check the status, the health status nila karon and the welfare if they provided shed by the owner, especially for those large animals and ruminants, small ruminants like atong mga baka, kanding. Ang large animals manggod mostly sa Cebu City na mga farmers is ila lang ibutang sa katong labi nating init, ibutang nila sa katong mga sa grazing area. So naatay ato silang gina-advise na natay time jud na unsa lang sila i-graze, and then dapat they should be provided by the by a shed. So kana siya ang isa sa nato na mo nang sa declaration karon sa mga sa budget, isa ta sa na adunahan karon sa budget sa disaster. So kana na shed is isa na sa ato ang gipangunahan karon jud for the welfare sad sa mga animals. So for the baboy sad, baboy na atong gikuan karon gina-monitor sad kay especially ASF still persist karon masking wala na tayo nag-positive since November 2023. So gina-monitor gyapon nato kay ang baboy manggod is wala na sila sweat gland. So to compensate manggod ato na silang gina-monitor karon ang mga baboy, especially sa mountain barangays, if they are aware ba sa mga owners na painitan ba na nila or dili. Kay good thing fortunately sad na nadjay mga sheds sad ang ilahang mga baboy, except lang for those some of the native pigs na gi-advisean nato na kung mahimo providean yun sila shed karon. So ang ato lang yung gi-provide karon sa mga farmers is of course those veterinary health services na nag-provide like free deworming, free vitamin supplementation, and free consultation for that one, and info campaign of course to sustain the to secure sa food security nato karon din kay which is part sila sa food security nato.
Dr. Jess, mangutana lang ko kay you mentioned about short-snouted dogs. Unsa may what is so peculiar about a short-snouted dog kanang mubog?
So wala lay dapig-dapig. Dili na tayo ikuan sa mga Pinoy. kung sa tao pa na siya, Sir Eric, no mga pislang, oo, mga flat og ilong. So, kana manggod siya is short snout, but pasabot is mas grabe ang exert nila kung mag-breath sila. So, mo na sila na very critical kay na sila, especially for sa tong situation karon and taas ang temperature. So, kana sila, we have to take extra careful sa ilahang health karon, like pug, shih tzu, usa pa na mga boxers, kana sila tungod sa ilahang breathing structure. So kana sila is bantayunan dyan na sila.
Mas lisod sila pasabot nimo, mas they're more prone to heat stroke.
We have to extra careful lang sa ilahang.
It brings me to the question, kana mga itoy kay
Yes, actually,
ang mga itoy kay short snouted man na sila,
Yes.
tapos how do we take care of them in this kind of condition?
okay, not only the short-snouted, sir, no, na breed, including the double-coated, triple-coated na mga breeds, and of course, sa katong mga small breed sad, and the puppies. We have to consider that kay not all the puppies manggod develop ang ilahang sense of smell. And if we're talking about sense of smell, the only way to compensate manggod sa or to regulate ang ilahang body temp is through basa na ang ilang ilong and also sa pads nila. So, sa mga puppies is dili pa na siya develop, especially for the protection for the pads. Soft pa kay na siya compare sa mga adults.
So kuan kaning ang lactating mother is good enough for them, they don't need water kaning mga puppies?
Of course, they need water.
So, kitag yung mga hatag og tubig nila?
You mean the puppies? It depends on the age, actually. If more than 2 weeks old na, of course, we can provide the water. But if below 3 months, 2 weeks old, 2 weeks old and to 2 months old, of course, they still need lactating pa man na sila. So, they still need support coming from the mom.
And then, uso karon ng mga kwan tungod sa kainit, ang mga iro gikagid, no? Usa po na, no? How do you handle that?
Kana siya manggod is we have a lot factors na i-consider with that one. So, mostly sa tuwa dinhi sa Cebu City na if we're talking about gikagid na dog, that is could be scabies or demodectic mange. So, kana siya ang treatment jud nato ana is we should number 1 is bathing. So, we should use medicated soap or medicated shampoo for that one. Second is, of course, you should ask guidance from your vet, especially na need na siya treatment of every other week for that one, which is injectable. Another thing is the food. Kay isa man na sa i-consider nato kay not same sa human na mag-allergy sad na sila. So, isa sad na siya sa mga factors sad na nganong kagiron sad. And demodectic mange, naturally na adyo na siya sa skin sa dogs. But mo opportunistic lang na siya kung may mga factors like food na makakos og anang allergy, stress, which is could be factor sad na magkakagad sa
ang stress can cause acidic effect po sa iro, no?
Yes,
tawo po na, no?
Actually, yes. Oo. Even sa meat gani, okay, isa sad na sa among gina-monitor magud Sir Eric. Ako na lang sa nang i-discuss kay that's the reason why animal welfare is amo na jud nang thing na jud na para sa mo not only for the pet animals but also the slaughtered animals. Kay if we're talking about veterinary side, we're also considering the food safety. So ang freshness sa meat. So if we're talking about production of lactic acid due to stress manggod, dali ra na siya mo deteriorate, dili na siya mo last for 8 hours ang meat. So makita na nimo mga 5 hours mag change na siya ang color from pale pink to possible to like gray. So kana siya isa sa na siya i-consider. So stress as you mean by production of lactic acid. Yes, isa na siya sa factor.
Mas mura po na sila tao kay mas stress na sila, partner. Kuan po sila, musuka-suka po na sila, ma-acidic. Kani ana po kay pangutana, last question ako ni partner. Kaya naminaw po si Angie kay kuan man pareho man tang mga hilig ug mga iro din
Fur mommy.
Oh, fur mommy mo na siya. Kaning how often nga angay natong pakaliguan ang atong pets pa? How often should we bathe our pets?
Dapat makabalo sa ang pet owners ani Sir Eric. Dili na pareho sa atuan na everyday. Okay, lahi og pH ang skin sa dogs compare sa human. So it should be once a week, every other week. It depends on the age, especially for the puppies. Sa puppies, pwede siya twice a week or once a week. But if adult na siya, like na siya sa mga junior, padulong sa adult, pwede siya mga once a week. Oo. Pero kung senior na siya, pwede na siya every other week or once a month.
Okay. Kaning ako lang ni pangutana no kay you talked about age, pero with the weather, should it be more often or that is already the answer considering the climate?
Age and of course the climate we should also consider. So if senior siya, we also consider regardless what age.
Senior nga dog. Sa edad. Padong na biyata sa topic sa senior citizens. Pero sa iro, sa senior.
Mga yung tag-ID.
Nayayuda pod. Okay. It depends siya sa small, medium, or large, or giant breed. So, dinhin na lang ta sa medium kay may mostly na sa to, especially Aspin. So, ang usual na makonsider na to sa medium type of breed is mga 7 or 8 years old. That is already a senior dog. But for large or giant breeds, 5 years old earlier is considered. Kung naaka sa mga small breeds, mga 8, 9, 10 years old, that is already considered as senior for the small.
So the bigger the dog, mas dali siya mo age. Okay.
Onya makita sad na nimo kay dili na siya, di ba, kung puppy pa, ferocious kay siyang kaon. So, mo na ang pag-feed nato siya is 3 times. Makita ra sa nimo pag later on mga mo adult na siya or ganing ready for mating na siya or junior na siya, makita nimo dili na siya mukaon. Di ba? Ang 3 times niya, makita nimo is sa 3 times niya gamay na lang kanon. So that is an indication na pwede na nimo siya i-lessen ang imuhang pag-ahatag niya og food. So that could be twice na lang. Kung senior na gayang dog, that is an indication na once na lang. Makita naman animo kay di na siya ganahan mo kaon. Another thing is magputi na sad na iyang snout. Kung makita ninyo ang iyang both eyes niya, mag-white na sad na siya. And then masking iyang pilok. Oo. So, and the teeth, sa ngipon niya, kung makita ninyo mga tangtang na. Di ba, later on, wala na ngipon.
Maragig tao.
Oo. Wala na yung mga ngipon, mga hinay na siya. Maunay kalainan sad niya sa mga puppies kay, di ba, ingon nila, ako na lang sad ning i-discuss. Ang puppies is, kusog daw mamaak. Mo na yung sila taas og rabies, di ba? That is a myth actually. Mura siya bata gani na magdako siya, magkagawa siyang ngipon, hilantan. The puppy is that the teeth mostly are deciduous or temporary. But pasabot na kung mudako na siya, kumabantayan ninyo mga tangtang, kay that is a temporary, that will lead to permanent. Mo nang ilanang ipaak-paak sa something nagahi, kay sakit man na, nagnipon. To relieve the pain, so tagai siya something nagahi na iyang paak-pakon. Mo nang expected ana mga chanelas ninyo, mga wirings ninyo, and ang mga pet owners, dili na nila ma-misunderstood nila. Nagtuo sila na, ay, akong dog, daghay rabies, kay nagpaak-paak. That is a myth actually. The reason behind that is, ang ilang deciduous is nag-change into permanent, and to relieve the pain, kay sakit man sa ilang gums, is ilang nang ipaak-paak. So, provide treats or something rawhide na ilang ma-relieve ang pain lang yun. And it doesn't mean na kung kung magpaakpak siya na siya rabies. Kaya if we're talking about rabies, manggod, rabies is viral disease. Ako na lang siyang i-correlate karon kay moingon manggod sila na during the summer or ting-init daw mutaas ang rabies case. Oo. So ako na lang sa ikuha na kung maingon ta manggod rabid ang dog, you have to differentiate kay naglaway-laway na siya. Actually dili tanan naglaway-laway rabison. Kung maingon kay tang nagpaak-paak siya, labi na puppy, we have to ask ourselves, exposed ba ang inyong puppy sa gawas? Mana. Second, vaccinated ba siya? Kay, ang rabies manggod is a viral disease. Dili na siya naturally na mo-occur sa lawas sa iro. Kay, pareho sa na sa COVID. Wala na siya, gipanganak ta, wala ta nagkang-COVID, diba? So, we have to vaccinate ourselves para protection. Mao ginang mag-vaccinate ta sa atong mga pets is protection. Kay in kaso na maka-encounter sila rabid animals, protected na sila. And that is correlate with the behaviors sa animals. So, mao nang makorelate nato kung wala siya nakapon, na tendency na mulaag. And then, especially karon nating init, na tendency na mulaag, especially if wala siya gihiktan and free roaming na siya. So, kanimang na season is mating season sa Manila. Ating bigasan. So, ang ang babae manggod, kung makita ninyo, kanaganing dugon siya, that is, inhit na siya. Pasabot na siya. 20 kilometers, nagsabiyag ka o imuhang pheromones or imuhang perfume. May gani dili tayo.
Ang lalaki dak na ba yung nanapo dak ka nang imong giingon nga kuan?
Lahi sa lalaki man na tao.
Di kanang lalaking iro ba? Napo nana. Kay ingon man ka nga kuan kanang usa na chimpong tigunsa.
Lahi ang sa lalaki. Sir.
Sa lala.
Dinhi sa ta sa babae mo. Abot ta sa lalaki.
Kanang mudugo siya pero kanang lalaki magkuan ba na mag-sync ba na sila o
kabantay kag kanang inyohang lalaki kung mulaag
lalaki nga iro dak ka klaroha lang dak.
Lalaki na iro na mulaag, sigig mark. Kanaging mangihi, that is a marking, that is another way of releasing pheromones. That is a sign of territory, and another thing is, nako'y baho din Ako aning baho din
Pasabutan na, nangita na siya?
Yes. So,
pero i-confirm to siya, Doc, nga magkasaka gyud ang mga rabies cases because last week manggod nakauban na mo si Doc Nene from DOH and usa gyud ko na sa mga top 5 nga mga sakit ang animal bites, especially kaning rabies. So, ting summer ba magkadaghan sad ba inyong mga recorded?
Sa karon jud compare sa February namo, mas taas jud ang among February sa rabies case. But ang biting incidence ang taas kay tungod number 1, walay klase daw mga bata. Second is katong mga previous Second is ang mga bata manggawas and then ang mga dogs sad manggawas. So mostly manggod sa atong data manggod ang napaakan jud is naa sa mga age jud na katong mga nasa mga elementary. So mo nang ang atong target sa info campaign karon together with the DepEd is dito sa mga elementary schools and amo pagyapon na siyang ipadayon kay just to enlighten gani sa atong mga kabataan na unsaon pag-handle or unsaon pag kung maka-encounter sila ging ana na dogs unsa ilang buhaton or kung
buhaton dog sila. Kung maka-encounter kag aggressive nga dog
of course dili ka makipag eye to eye contact.
Dili mo tan-aon.
Dili ka makipag so katong mga lalaki din na nahilig makipag eye to eye contact, ayaw na lang jud mo labi na.
And then unsa man mudagan ka, mohinay ka,
dili jud ka dapat mudagan kay the more na mudagan ka para sa ilaha ang mga dogs is it could be another way of play or pwede nimo sila na imo silang gihagit na so mo nang dapat dili jud ka mulihok dili nimo sila tagaog og importansya or dili nimo sila tagaog pansin. So mo sa nay atong i-differentiate no ang iro na buang any kind na movable iyan ang paakon maski wala ka nimo siya na provoke. But ang iro na normal, mamaak lang na sila kung napasakitan, nakuratan, nakalitan, food aggressive, nanganak siya. So mausad na mo na atong ginatudlo sa ilaha na dapat dili kumuton ang iro kung manggigil sila, which is mao nay common kay cute kaayo. Unya mao nay makatrauma and mausad nay maka-change sa behavior sa dog later on pagdako niya. And ma-imprint pa na nila na kaning bataa or kaning mga bata mo'y nakakasakit niya. So, any na bata na mood iyang duulo, na tendency na mamaak siya. So, that is another thing na atong i-educate ang mga bata din na sa mga
Sakto
eskwelahan.
kayo, partner. Kay segue na to, senior dogs, senior citizens.
But last na lang, Doc, before tamo segue kan Doc Loreche, unsa lang imong advice sa mga napaakan og iro, especially, for example, ang mga ginikanan kay grabe man sad no, ang online debate kabahin atong iro nga si 𝗙𝗲𝗄𝗺, Doc ba? So, there are two sides to the issue. What is your advice, especially to the parents, kung mapaakan gani og iro ang ilahang mga bata? Di man sa dyan nato malikayan nga maglagot ka no, sa mananap.
Okay, first and foremost, unsay reason sad nga nung napaakan ng bata? Mosad na, no? So, sa ako, anang part ako nga akong owner, but dito ta sa mother or sa parents na side, ang inalon yung buhaton ana is they should ask first the vaccination certificate sa dog. Okay? Kay through that one, that is a proof man God na the dog is already vaccinated. Especially if 3 or 5 consecutive years na siya. But kung first pagani, it depends sad kung unsa na category sa paak. Kaya naman tayo mga category sa paak, man God. First category, second category, third category. So, it should be the liable sad jud ang owner sa dog with regard sa expenses sa victim. Kay ngano sang nakabuhi iyang dog? Ngano sang nakapaak? So, mausad na siya ang atong pangutana sa pet owners. Responsible pet ownership atong pag-istorn. At the same time, ang parents dapat responsable sa iyang kwan. So, mo na siya kwan, ask for the vaccination certificate. Then, next is, if di man jud nato na mapugngano kay naman jud mga mama or parents jud na kailangan magpa-vaccinate. So, pwede ta natay gitawag na post-exposure vaccination. So, kana siya is, of course, covered by the pet owner. So, dapat humanon sad na niya. And, good thing sa ato sa Cebu City is natay free. I think first o unsa to na kuan kay murag gamay na lang sad ang bakuna according to Doc 𝗙𝗲𝗄𝗺. So ang ako lang naibawan lately is ang first o ang third, but I don't know kung unsay status karon sa ilang kuan. So kana siya ang ato yung pinaka the best. And first aid jud kung napaakan gani before atong akong mention, of course we have to clean the wound first through the running water, and then kung mahimo padugon dili butangan og tandok, dili butangan og garlic og suka kay mahimo na ng adobo. Kay maunay common jud masking nata sa urban karon no sa Cebu City naagya po'y nagabuhat ana. So mo nay atong gina-advise sa ilahan na musamot o samad na siya. Oo. So, na-tendency na padugon siya, then running water for 5 minutes, and then consult human doctor actually for that one.
So, dili justifiable nga bawsan nimo ang iro?
Dili jud siya angay, kay pwede jud kasad ma-filean og case. Akong gi-mention ganina, and naana jud mi na sampulan jud ana sa Cebu City.
Alright, thank you very much, Doc Jazz.
Thank you.
Ari na sa tani, Doc Loreche. Doc, unsa na atong mga updates kabahin sa mga pag-address sa mga panginahanglan sa atong mga senior citizens, particularly in Region 6 and Region 7?
Thank you, Andy, no, and Eric, for inviting us here. Well, of course, ang atong National Commission on Senior Citizens is very actively promoting and advocating for the benefits of our older adult population. By the way, I coined the term older adult population, not senior citizen. Okay, syempre, mas sosyal ang dating, di ba? We have young adults, we have mid-adults, so why not use the word older adult, di ba? Para sa atoa. And kita nalipay no, because when I was appointed October 3 of last year to be the commissioner for the NCSC, and particularly with focus on Cluster 4, which is Region 6 and 7. So una, we know for a fact no, nga napirmahan na ang balaod on octogenarian nonagenarian, and ang atong expansion sa atong centenarian. So unsa man ni siya? Ibig sabihin, at the age of 80, 85, 90, 95, mudawat ka og 10,000 pesos. Pero, kana siya, although napirmahan na ang balaod ana niya, ang atong gihulat karon is the implementing rules and regulations. And we are doing that right now. We are preparing for the finality of it together with DSWD, kauban nato ang atong PSA and DICT. Kay very vital ani niya ang electronic monitoring and record. Kay kinahanglan man makita nato for the budget itself. And for this year, sad to say, dili na siya mahatag. Kaya wala man siya na-appeal sa budget for this year. But definitely, by next year, mahatag na siya. And together with it would be the implementing rules and regulations. Now, ang kaayuhan ani niya is, tanan, whether you are residing here, or you are outside of the country, but you are a registered Filipino, so you may avail of it. So, isa na. And dili siya pwede kung niabot kag 81, 82, 83, 84. So, kunyari, next year, mahatag na nato, and karong December, you are 80 years old. But then, it will be implemented next year, dili ni mo maklaim ang 80 ni mo. Adto ka na maghulat, mag-85 ka. So, kunyari, because I've been receiving a lot of questions on this, no? So, dili siya retroactive, no? So, kunyari, you're already 84 today, and then next year, ma-implement siya. Kung niabot kag 85 next year, yes, you get it, but you're not getting the age of 80. So, dili siya pwede nga mag-pile up nga, okay, nag-81 naman ko, so makuha ba na ako ang akong 80, and then maghulat ko mag-85 ko, so ang 84 makuha, dili siya. So, very vital ang ato ang online registration on this. So, we are actively promoting actually online to register yourselves via online, no? So, tanaw niyo sa website nato. Nakita yung website din ha for the National Commission on Senior Citizens for the online registration. That's for the national. But we also have it locally for our Cluster 4. So, kung sa Cluster 4, you can actually join us also with our FB page, no? Naakita din hay FB page for National Commission on Senior Citizens Cluster 4. So you can get updates on how we are, what we are doing, and if you have concerns, you can also post it there.
Mga pila na atong mga registered na mga older age.
Older adult population.
Older adult population. Nasayop ko.
Yeah, because if you notice, according to the, let's look at it like this. According to the PSA, the Philippine Statistics Authority, as of 2022, the total number of older adults in the entire country is playing between 10.5 to 10.8 million. Pero according to COMELEC, lahi man po ng COMELEC nga data na sa mga 11 million or 11.2 million. That's for 2022. Karon, if you look at it, we are trying to get to the bottom of what's the reality in terms of our numbers. So, nationally, ang ato ang total registered pa lang karon is actually naasa 4 million kapin, no? So, that's around 4.2 million as of today nga ato ang total number nga naka-register. But for our cluster sa Region 6 and 7, we have registered 482,047 for Region 6 and 327,092 for Region 7. Pero ang total number of older adults for Region 7 is 730,799 and for Region 6 is 901,730 as of 2020.
Okay, so unsa pa maagi sa pag-register, Doc? Online or gid tanan?
Online siya tanan sa karon. Well, actually there are two modalities by which we can register. You can enter the web page of NCSC, no, and then you can do on the online there. But there is another way for those who are not techie. Number one, number two, if you do not have internet, then you can actually fill up forms that the OSCA has per LGU, and then these are now being translated into encoding to the website of NCSC.
Pero wala pa man, apart ni sa IRR ang disbursement pohon, Doc, no? Or naana tay mga plans nga, unsa man ni, i-online basa, digital basad ang pang-apod-apod sa ilahang financial assistance?
So, when you talk about the social pension which is already at 1,000 pesos per indigent person, tanaw na to nga, this is currently still under the DSWD. However, there will be a transition whereby this will be transferred to NCSC because that is part of our mandate to be able to handle also the social pension. So, ang sa SOCPEN, sa karon murag via LGU na siya, no? Ang ilang pag-distribute ana niya. But when we talk about its being transitioned to NCSC, part of our program and planning is actually basin magamit na nato ang mga Paymaya, GCash nato, no? Para medyo hapsay ang atong paghatag sa atong pension. Now, there is something very good coming out very soon. I hope that it will be approved. So this is just advanced information. There is a pending bill now stating that the social pension becomes universal. Kay karon manggod ang atong social pension is actually only given to indigent persons. So kinsa man ang indigent persons? Those that are, number 1, no social pension. No pension whatsoever from SSS, GSIS, no. Number 2, does not have any economic support from the family. Number 3, kinahanglan wala sad siya'y trabaho. Ikaupat, kinahanglan ma-classify siya either sick or frail siya. So, ibig sabihin, sick na siya sakit. Kung frail siya, hinay yan yung panglawas. But under the NCSC, when we are going to transition that and that will be transferred to us, we will now categorize further and really classify unsa man ang buti pasabot sa frail. Kaya pwede manggod nga hinayon ka lang mulakaw. And yet, you know, you don't really deserve to be given the pension, no? So, muna siya. For the universal social pension, that is still pending right now, but that is already, I think they are going to conduct a congressional hearing on it, no? Meaning to say, tanan, across the board, tagaan siya. But there's an issue on, katong nagdawat na karon nga mga indigent, daghan pa manguglistahan, long list of waitlisted older adult, no, nga dapat matagan. And what is very sad here is magampo ka nga mawala sa to siya para mapuli imong pangalan. So magampo ka nga mawala to siya para naay place for you. So we will try to do away with it and we are waiting for it to become a bill.
All right. Sige, ato nang atngan kung ma-approve pohon atong universal social pension. Doc, ari na sa issue, naghisgot man kita sa precautionary measures, no? Sa grabing kainit sa ato ang mga animals. How about for senior citizens? We know nga mas kuan gid sila, kinahanglan sad silang tutukan, and of course with your background as a medical doctor, you would be in the position to also give medical advice.
Yes, thank you kaayo, Andy. But first, before na nako tubagon, I'd like to also inform everybody additional on the benefits, no? Kasi syempre everybody's asking, unsa may mga benefits nga ako ang naakaron. First, on the grocery, kibaluta dati, it's only 65 pesos per week ang imong ma-avail, no? And you have to bring your booklet. But today, when this will be signed again by the Office of the President, it is now pegged at 125 pesos per week. So, from 65, tungkol sa inflation rate na to, so mahimo na siyang 125 pesos per week nga imuhang malibre nimo from your groceries. That's per week. Ang atong electricity also, and ang ato ang gitawag nga water consumption. So, for electricity, kinahanglan nimo 100 kilowatt per month, lower or 100 below 100, libre na siya dapat. Pero, kinahanglan nga ang metro nakapangalan sa atong older adult person. The same with water. Kani ato 100 cubic per meter lang, karon gihimong 300 cubic per meter and below, so libre sad na siya. And it should be in the name of the older adult population. And ang atong bag-usad nga gi-appeal din ha sa ato ang increase in the benefits, there are certain medicines, anti-hypertensives, no? Ang atong mga tambal for high blood pressure, including for diabetes and cancer, no? Nga gihatagan na pud ta og bag-ong list of these drugs nga appeal siya sa 20% plus 12% nga ato ang discount ani niya. As to the booklet, kasi mao man gyud siya ang hot issue. ang booklet ba kinahanglan gyud kay daghan ko usahay makitaan nga atong older adults magreklamo ani niya. Ang booklet for groceries and for medicines kinahanglan pa dal-o nato sa karon. Unless, and I pray that in my 6 years, no, nga ako ang term, nga mahuman ako na siya, nga ato fully ma-digitalize. Meaning to say, ang ato ang recording, ang atong data, insakto na. So, pag ato nimo sa grocery or pag ato nimo ngadto sa imong butika, na pag-appear sa imong pangalan dito, makita ang imong maintenance meds, na kinahanglan nimo siya every month, nga imong i-purchase siya. Then maybe that's the time that the booklets will have to be done away with. So, mo na siyang sa ato ang benefits. Now, for the older adult population, summer, init kayo, climate change, because you know the changes in temperature is just so para bang labile. I call that very labile. No, it can happen. Karon init kayo, unya hapon ni ulan ug kalit. O kaya naman ni ulan kaganina and then kalit na lang siya ug katugnaw. Remember that as older adults, we have more difficulties in terms of adjusting our body temperatures to the changes in climate. So very important kung atong mga fur babies, atong ginaalagaan, then we take care of our older adults as well. So you need to hydrate yourself. Ayaw pag-hydrate og alcohol, beer, and soft drinks, and soda, no? Or lemonade. Hydrate using water. So, clear water. Clean, clear, fluid. Meaning to say, kung kaniadto atong giingon 6 to 8 glasses of water per day, mo man na siya ang atoan dapat nga standard nato. But when you're an older adult, especially in weather or in conditions where the temperature is very high, you can increase your water intake to up to 10 glasses per day. Ikaduha, pasilong. Ikatulo, ayaw pagsulog og mga init nga mga gamit, no? The clothing should be light and airy as well. Number 4, when you do your exercise, because we encourage exercise, advocating it for our older adults, ayaw po siya himuha under the heat of the sun or when it's very hot. So, these are the same things, no? Pero unlike our fur babies where you take a bath only, you give them a bath once a week or once every other week. For older adults, you can take your baths 3 times a day if you like, or maybe at least every day. You have to have your bath.
How about in terms aning pagpanggawas, Doc, sa atong mga vaccine-preventable diseases like the pertussis, measles, unsa man sad atong mga pahimangno sa atong mga older adults nga usa man sad sila sa vulnerable ni ining mga sakita, should they be vaccinated again sa atong mga health center?
We can actually, advise our older adults, especially if, number 1, they are immunocompromised. Number 2, if they are still a healthcare worker. Okay, even if you're an older adult like me, I still work. I still do, get interactions with patients. So if you're an older adult, nurses, medtechs, therapists, and you are a vulnerable sector, because that's vulnerable, or you are immunocompromised, meaning to say you have hypertensive, uncontrolled, you are diabetic, you have chronic kidney disease, you have cancer, it would be most advisable to have a booster shot. So, booster ang atong tawag ana niya. But what I am more concerned about would be for older adults to have these 2 vaccines nga very vital and important. That would be your flu shot every year, and number 2, pneumococcal vaccine. So,
libre ni Doc.
Supposedly, mo ni siya ang atong challenge, because remember that with devolution, no? Meaning to say, I'm sure the Department of Health, when you invited them, they must have mentioned that kaning ato ang mga tambal karon o ang mga bakuna has been given to the LGUs already. It's not the Department of Health who is procuring and distributing it. Unlike dati, no? Na Department of Health will procure the medicines, including the vaccines, and distribute it to the rural health centers, municipal health centers. Nowadays, it's not. So it is to be and has to be embedded in the budget of the LGU. And that's what I have been, very busy with the past 3 months, because we are actually promoting, and I'd like to say this, no? We are promoting na we put in, kay remember that naamang yun sa balaod, no? The Senior Citizens Act, na naagyud dapat senior citizen centers ang mga local government units. That is supposedly to be placed there. But if you go around, like what we have been doing with my team, dili siya tinuod because there are LGUs that do not have senior citizen centers. Number two, there are senior citizens offices, not a center. Inside either the Capitol, inside either the City Hall, either the Municipal Hall, or in the Barangay Hall. But we are doing pilot already, trying to see unsaon siya nga kinahanglan mabutangan gyud og senior citizen centers, because ang atong mga senior citizen offices and senior citizen centers nga are in existence are being utilized by our OSCA. Dito sila manglista og mga miyembro katong mga bag-o lang mag-60, so dito mo adto sa OSCA para ma-recognize mo, ma-register mo. Ikaduha, manghatag og mga IDs. Ikatulo, manghatag og benefits ni LGU. But the thing there is, there are a lot of things na need sa ato ang older adults that can be placed in a senior citizen center. And we are lobbying for this, no? Nga kinahanglan, there are 3 major needs of an older adult pala.
Doc, what's the difference between a center and an office? Para lang masabtas mga
Because if it's an office, pwede mong gamay kaayo. Di ba? Opisina lang, na lamesa, na computer dito, na tao. But a center is a bigger space where certain activities and programs of an older adult can be put in. So, I'll go back, no? Now, there are 3 basic needs of an older adult. Una is ang iyang health and wellness. Pirmigit na siya. Wherever you go, mo na siya ang imong problema, health and wellness. Ikaduha, makita nimo, ang ilahang concern is actually on security. Either security sa finance, nga naaslay matunol sa ilang mga apo, naaslay mahatag sa ilang mga kanang makahatag sila. And their security against being, subjects to domestic violence, or their rights are being violated. And the third is actually interaction and social. So, very vital na siya. Nakita na nato, and these are proven by studies already. Now, if we put all these various needs of an older adult in a center via the programs, for example, you do health and wellness there. So, you have activities na related to immunization, to check-up, to the diagnostics for preventive, no? And then, ibutang nato dito ang ginatawag nato og livelihood. Okay, very basic kaayo ang need sa atong older adult to be respected and to have that dignity. Not because you are 60 and 65, wala ka ng karapatang maghanap buhay. At hindi din dapat ikaw ay hindi magbigay at magkasama in nation building. You're supposed to be part of nation building. And because our country and the young people, the young generation, owes a lot to the older adult population, then we give it to them. I was with the DOT Secretary Frasco, I think before Holy Week. We discussed livelihood programs related to tourism. Kaya we're a tourism destination. Nga hatagan natong opportunity ang older adults who are able, capable, and willing to be trained so they can also form part of our tourist attractions and serving ang ato ang mga tourists, no, here in the country. So if you put livelihood, you put wellness and health there, you put social interaction, then I believe you create an environment for the older adult to be happier, to be more productive.
Appeal sa livelihood, Doc, ka ng employment?
Yes, appeal na siya, and entrepreneurial. Kasi ang ato ading DTI and DOLE actually has budgets for this. So we will tap them, including ang TESDA, for the training and the skills development. So I call the senior citizen centers now, because of the holistic approach, to become a senior citizens community-based care centers, or I call them the SC3C.
Doc, last question from me, Doc. Unsa man ang imuhang personal stand aning gipasar ni Senator Bong Revilla nga i-lower ang age of senior citizen, old age, older adult, from 60 years old to 56. Unsa man ang imuhang ikasulti ani? Kay murag daghan maka-avail unya ni.
If you look at our country and the world per se, we are an aging population. We are an aging population. According to the Institutes of Health, and under the auspices of the studies conducted by the University of the Philippines, by 2030, our older adults will form around 15% of the total population. So if you're looking at, I went to Japan to observe ang ilang ginahimo for the older adult. Do you know that in Yokohama, they have the population base for older adults is at 54.4% of the total population. Now, if you are going to lower ang France, if you've been reading the news, France is in uproar because they are now proposing, the government is proposing that their senior age group from 62 to 63 will now be up to 65 to 68 years old. So they're in an uproar. Kaya nga namang isa ka man ang ato ang age, for you to be considered an older adult. So why would the Philippines lower it at 57 when, number one, you are at the prime of your life to be able to contribute to economic and nation building, which is the thrust of our government, by the way. Number two, you know that when you reach and you're given that privilege card, you get all the discounts and the benefits. Tayo lang ang merong ganyan, by the way. You go abroad, that's not honored. You're not even given a special lane there. You are just like an ordinary citizen. But the Philippines takes care of the older adults. So why lower it? When in fact, we do not want really to stretch the economy, giving out discounts to those who are still able and capable. As a matter of fact, we are advocating, me personally as a commissioner, sad to say, I am advocating that we have to give livelihood to the older adult population. Mao na siya nga atong gikabisihan, touching base with tourism, touching base with DTI, with TESDA, and we have plans of engaging with the chambers of commerce, including engaging with the Hotel and Resorts Association, because we really promote that they be given that opportunity to work again.
Yeah, so it gives them a continued sense of purpose.
They are purpose-driven. They also have that dignity, because dignity and respect, is very vital to the older adult population. So hindi siya dapat dole out. We should already have some change, a paradigm shift in dole out yung mga tulong na financial na ibibigay sa'yo. Maybe it's time to reverse that. And, be a nation of highly capable and, purpose-driven older adult persons.
Doc, nabanggit niyo yung tatagalog din ako kasi magaling po kayo magtagalog din eh. Baka sabihin nila yung mga Cebuano hindi rin marunong magtagalog. Nabanggit niyo sa Francia, 62 at 63 ang gusto nilang i-attack to 65 to 68, no? Sa palagay ninyo, angkop na po yung 60 anyos para sa Pilipinas at hindi na kailangan babaan pa o iakyat pa?
I would say this, there are kasi, if you look at it, why are we an aging population? Let's always go to the basic. Bakit tayo aging population? So what are the reasons? Number one, I would say it from the medical point of view, that number one, we have better technology. Pag sinabi mong better technology, meron ikaw mga devices ngayon na mga mas maganda para ikaw ay buhayin. So when you go to the hospitals, you get all of these medical devices that are really, fit to help you survive your disease. Number two, we have better medicines and drugs. Because dati-rate, when you get sick, you have septicemia, or we call that a entire systemic infection. You die from it because maybe the antibiotic that you have may not be able to cover all the bacteria and viruses that are in your system. So we have better drugs. And remember that in the coming years, there will be robotics even in the distribution and the giving of the drugs. And we have to prepare for that. Number three, we have also better awareness. People are now more aware. They want to do a healthy lifestyle. They want to do exercise. They do Zumba together as a team. So these three will actually contribute to a longevity. Dati, the lifespan, let's talk about Filipinos. The average score or lifespan of a Filipino is around 62. Diba? Tapos umakyat siya ng 65, umabot siya ng 70. But today, the average lifespan of a Filipino, we're talking about a Filipino, is around 72 to 75. And then pag nung pumunta ako ng Bohol, tiningnan ko yung kanilang mga centenarians doon. Yung centenarians natin are 101, 102, 103. And they are still very active and healthy. So now, if you're going to lower this age or increase it, it might, maybe increasing, I would say yes. I would support an increase from 60 to about 63 to 65. Kasi highly able and capable. Tingnan nyo, sino ba dito ang 62 years old? Ha? Okay. Ha?
Walay mutugan, Dok.
Walay mutugan. Ako mutugan ko, I'm 62. But I am very highly able and capable. I'll be 63 in a few months, di ba?
Amazing.
So, I believe this is the way to go, no? So, hindi na totoo yun na, kaya nga isang comment ko, no? Pag nakita ninyo, napansin ninyo, di ba yung mga special lane for PWDs, for the older adults, nakikita niyo nakakuba at saka may tungkod. Sabi ko, I want to do away with it. I want to put there an older adult that is looking healthy and yet able and capable, but able also and will definitely have that special privilege.
Bitaw, instead of showing them as fragile, Doc, no?
One more, Andy. And opportunity ko na to eh. Thank you. Remember that I mentioned the Senior Citizens Community-Based Care Centers. That is going to, I think there's a bill already pending, no? That will actually institutionalize that one. And we are very grateful to the congressman sa Senior Citizens Party List, Congressman Umpong Ordonez, because he has that already pegged. Now, we are going to do a pilot here, right here in Cebu. We are going to target May 23 to 24 in Moalboal. So pag sinabi kong pilot siya, ibig sabihin, yung Senior Citizen Center doon ni Mayor Ting, lalagay natin lahat ng programs and activities on a daily basis for the older adult population. So we're inviting you to witness that momentous event. And of course, there are also identified areas that our local chief executives has already agreed to support. No, Lapu-Lapu will have a groundbreaking in April. Of course, Cebu City is one of them. Mandaue, the mayors have already concurred on this. We have also Liloan and Naga. No, so heto yung for region 7, and of course we're planning to do it also in Bohol, dalawang mga LGUs doon. And Ormoc has already agreed na we will put it there. The mayor Lucy Torres, I was in a meeting with her together with my team, and the congressman there, the husband, already approved the budget for it. So we're trying to spread it in a manner na when we do the pilot, we see that it is really effective and efficient for the older adult population. Then we know that the benefits is really something na, you know, tanggap na tanggap at ramdam na ramdam nila yan.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask you this question because you mentioned about online registration, and of course this is part of the program of the President, digitizing governance in short. Nabanggit ko lang ito kasi ang standard kasi dito daw is should not be only user-friendly but user-centered. Nababanggit ko ito kasi alam mo, partner, yung e-registration when you depart for abroad, ma'am, it will take 30 minutes bago aprobahan yung yung immigration ko. Yeah, kung sa airport ka mag-register, ma'am, it will take you maybe 30 minutes. And if it's raining, hinay kayong wifi. So, even those who are arriving from abroad, ang mga turista, magreklamo pirmi. And then, nangutaan ako kay gawas na po na akong pag-report na partner. Kisa may sadan, ng immigration, dili na namo sa Lanas Department of Tourism. So, nagtuturoan sila ngayon kung... And then, sa inyo, ma'am, namoy manual registration, di ba?
We have a manual registration via OSCA, the Office of the Senior Citizens Association, per LGU. So, si OSCA is responsible of making sure na i-register nila yan, isulat nila kung wala silang capacity, no, or kung walang internet, walang mga computers, wala lahat. So, it can be done manually. And then, these are now, transmitted or translated into encoding. So we are also connecting already with the academies. So we are asking for volunteers to help us out in encoding all of this na nandun sa mga OSCA or sa LGUs na para maipasok natin for the online registration.
Tama po yan kasi yung nabanggit ko lang po dun sa airport ngayon, yung Terminal 2, hindi lahat ng senior citizen merong magandang cellphone. Yung iba, luma pa din yung cellphone, di ba, na ginagamit. So paano kung mag-i-scan kung magdi-depart ka sa abroad, kung yung cellphone mo luma,
Walang QR code.
kahit na may walang QR code yung cellphone, tapos wala silang manual.
That's true.
Bawal yung manual sa when you depart. So, ang tatamaan dito, yung Department of Tourism, according to the Department of Immigration.
Maybe we have to look at it this way. I would say it has to be an interagency activity.
Yes.
Meaning to say, si IMIG should also help out DOT, including the ICT. Kasi in terms of technology and information, that's under the ICT, di ba? So kailangan sila, they have to help it out and maybe provide counters still, where those who do not have the capacity para sa kanilang mga phone, to be able to have and access those IMIG na mga kailangan natin, can be helped and assisted.
Ang nangyari, partner, yung mga dumating na Filipino or foreigners, nangayog tabang sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino dito, maingon dahil nga, we can make it faster for you, we can help you. Wala na ako sinabi, ma'am. Alam niyo na yon. May ano yon para mas madali ang pagpasok sa immigration and all that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Loreche. And now we shall be opening the floor for questions from our friends from the media. And after our Q&A, we will be pausing for a short break. And then we will be welcoming our next set of panelists for this Tuesday's Open Line News Media Forum. So anybody who'd like to start, please feel free to approach the microphone. Again, please do not forget to introduce your name and the organization that you represent. Thank you.
Good morning, Doc. Dr. Ondo Bantilla, Wild Wings Radio. And yes, I just would like to ask this one question. As a commissioner of the Senior Citizens Group Association, what are the strengths and the weaknesses that you have seen that it needs to improve? And what kind of managerial style that or approaches that you will use as a head of that association? It is a kind of a bureaucratic or autocratic style of management, or a democratic style, or a free-rein style of management? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions, Parang marami-rami yun. So, iisa-isahin natin, hihimayin natin siya pa isa-isa. So, ang unang tanong which I would like to say is, you're asking what are the strengths and weaknesses. If you are talking about the strengths and weaknesses of an older adult person versus the commission itself, so these are two different things. So let's talk about an older adult, and then we'll go into the commission per se. So an older adult, you know that your weaknesses mostly is, sinabi ko kanina, yung tatlong pangangailangan mo, which is your wellness and health. Because if you really notice and look at it, isa sa basic need natin, na pag ikaw ay tumatanda na, umaakyat yung edad mo, all the diseases come out. Parang nagtanim ka noong araw at nagpunla ikaw, ngayon mo lang aanihin. So, ibig sabihin, kung hindi ka naman naging maingat sa diet mo at lifestyle mo, then you also reap that, di ba? So, kaya lumalabas yung hypertension, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and all the other diseases that an older adult person faces. So, that's a weakness. When you talk about the strength of an older adult, because of your years, na-hone yung skills mo and your knowledge and understanding, you are wiser. Kaya nga kailangan natin sila for nation building. Hindi ibig sabihin na ikaw ay nag-retire na at the age of 60, compulsory at the age of 65 or mandatory at 65, optional at the age of 62 when you are in the government service. It does not mean that you stop your work, your capacity to give back still to the community. That should be your strongest point as an older adult. Now, as a commission and as a commissioner, the National Commission on Senior Citizens was only created by law in 2019. So baby talaga siya. It's a baby commission because the president at that time saw that ang DSWD handles so much in their hands. Meron siya, nandun ang mga kabataan, andun ang mga sa mga kababaihan, andun yung mga social needs, andun lahat ng calamities and disasters, nandun sa kanya lahat. So, with an aging population, the need for a very specific agency to oversee the specific special needs, because these are special needs of an older adult, came about. So it became created by law. There are 7 commissioners for the entire country. And we have a chairman who's an attorney and a lawyer. There are commissioners who came from, from BIR or an auditor, a journalist. One is from 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝗎. The other one is a retired professor, a teacher, and a retired general. I'm the only medical doctor in the team. So, as a commission, having sat in the commission for less than 4 months, because I was appointed October 3, I took my oath of office October 5, and then I started working, and then I got very busy until today doing all of these programs and implementations. The weaknesses, number 1, I would say, because it's a baby commission, there are still processes, systems, protocols on the programs, because it has 9 core programs. But I see that these are not yet well developed. Okay, so that is where I come in for my cluster, where we are trying to prepare our manual of operations, our manual, of standards, so that this can be templated here and then hopefully brought up at the national level. So that's one. Second would be, because we lack the budget, that's a constraint and that's a weakness. We do not have, for the year 2024, we do not have a capital expenditure budget. So we only have an operating budget that is very small, and considering the 10.8 million older adults that we really have to reach throughout the country. So that's a very small budget. But again, my strength, having said those two as a weakness for the commission per se, would be, number 1, I can lobby to the policymakers to help us with the budget. And I think it's a strength that during the pandemic, I worked with everyone. No? So there is an established rapport and relationship already. So that's a strength. The second strength that I have would be, because I'm a medical doctor, who has practiced on the ground, even when I was practicing as a pathologist, having helped Marawi ang may pakpak during the Marawi siege, having been to Bukidnon to help them out, having been in the private sector and in the government sector, here in a pandemic setting in Cebu, I saw grounded what are the needs of an older adult person. So that's a very good strength coming for me as a commissioner. And third, strength would be the very good working relationship that we had, not just with the government, but with the private sector. I think that's a strength that we can tap in order for us to promote the programs and projects for the older adult person. Remember, if it's only the government, it will not work. Maniwala po kayo, with all the bureaucracies, with all the budget limitations, with all the inefficiencies, if I may say so, and incompetence by some, and maybe also because of the red tapes. So we have all of that we have to hurdle. But if we are going to tap the business sector, the private sector, the retired teachers, the retired fiscals, the retired whoever no, na may mga trabaho, dati, if we tap them, then that can be a strength for us to make things happen for our older adult population.
Thank you very much, Doc. By the way, we would also like to acknowledge the arrival of Cebu City Councilor Joel Garganera, and we will be welcoming him in the panel after this Q&A. Sir?
Mayong buntag na tanan o Efren Lonzon, radio commentator sa DYCM o former columnist sa 15 years sa Sun Star Super Balita o sa Brigada Newspaper Philippines. Akong na-intrigue ako, Dak, no? Maribojoc, ma'am. Sa pag-ingon mo nga ang iro nga magbiga ng atawa, o nangatawa silang tanan. So, wala din siya magatawa ko na. So, kining curiosity lang ba? Kung ang tao magbiga, unsay timailhan? Kay, nabala ka manggod ko ba? Nabala ka ko kay ang akong pares nagnaiti. Kunya karon nagtuo ko nga mo to'y symptoms diya, no? Nga nagbiga siya. Pag duol na ko siya nga ginitan lang ko no siya. Wala lang ko mo duol, tiwas. So unsa may sa mga tao lang Jack, no, for public interest ba? Wani Malaysia, di ba? Na-discuss man ta may labot sa gawan, may labot sa iro. So kung importanteng iro ang tao sa benang mahibaw mi kung kanus ami mo duol.
Okay. Thank you kayo, sir, no, sa iyong question. Okay. Regarding manggod sa ovulation, manggod sa mga animals o sa human, different ta. So, if we are talking about human manggod o sa animals, there are some animals na induce ovulator. Actually, ang nasa mga animals sad na super ovulator. But the human is different. And the dog is different. So, kung moingon ka, unsay ti mailhan mamiga ang babae, actually wala siya pili. Wala siya pili. Kung moingon ta ang iro, mamiga siya, by the time lang na, mo na siya na gitawag nato na period siya kung equivalent sa human. And that's the time sad na dinharasad sila mabuntis. Same sa human. So, by the time na dugon siya, that's the time sad na mo release siya pheromones, which is 20 kilometers. That's the reason why sa gawas sa inyong balay, daghay lalaki na iro sa imuha kung nanguwag ang imuhang babae, which is dili na mahitabo sa babae na tao. Kay magtago-tago. Okay? So kung moingon tag babae na iro, masimutan jud na siya sa tanang lalaki, especially for those na dili wala gikapon. So kung moingon tag babae sad na iro, mga naksad na siya kadaghan. So, ang babae is pinakadaghan na niya kung super ovulated na jud kay siya. So, ako ngayon is timailhan na to na namiga ang babae, dili mailhan.
Di mailhan di.
All the time na. Labi nagmanguhit. Sorry, walay mali siya. But sa dog is mamiga lang na siya kung nag-means na siya, which is mula siya mga 13 to 20 days. And that's the time sad na sa 13 days to 18 days, that's the ideal sad na pwede mo magpastad kung mag-breed mo og dogs. Because that's the time is 100% na fertile siya and pwede yun siya makakonceive yun.
Ni Dr. Loreche, Dak, doon ay mga reklamo ba na dawat sab na mo kinibitong pagbalibad sa pibilay ka mga tindahan kan no nga mo purchase ka, mo kaon ka nya di na ka pwede magabalik sa mga PWD card o senior man ka gani usos biktima ini si veteranong commentator si Maribojoc. So usa may matabang ninyo ini kay sa atong naibawan sa balawod manggod nga wa may limit, no? Kay free naman na sa buhis, ididak naman na sa buhis ngantos mga negosyante. Unsay imong reaction may labot ini unsay matabang nimo ini ngantos mga gihikawan nga mga seniors Dr. Loreche, ma'am?
Thank you, Kaayo. No? I think that's one of the most common complaint na we have received. And I was a victim of that as well. No? Kaon ka, muna siya nga very careful tatanan. Ang panawagan is, you have to examine your bill. Because apparently, they are not applying, there are certain establishments that do not apply what was mandated by law in terms of computing for the discounts. No? So, ang pangutana is, what can we do? Number one, NCSC being a policy-making and an implementing commission, we do not actually handle that directly. What we advise for those complainants, no, who have encounters like this would be, first, to make sure that they have to report it to the OSCA. Kasi that's the Office of the Senior Citizens Association where that particular establishment is located. The OSCA should then elevate that to the LGU because the business permits of these establishments is from the local government units. And naatay very good example ani niya, no? In Badian, there is a group of retired dole and mga fiscal, no, nga mga older adults, and they are very active in addressing problems like this. So naay mo sulat nila, naay mo reklamo nga ingon niya ng establishment, then they're the ones who really, work with OSCA and then with the LGU on the implementation of the guidelines. Kay pwede man good na nga ang atong LGU, atong local chief executives can call the attention of that business operator and withhold the business permit. If really comes to that, no? And it's true, sir, ha? Hindi siya one time, big time. Meaning to say, I eat today, this morning, because it happened in Starbucks, right? Na kumain ka doon, bumili ka na ng inom mo, and then hindi na po pwedeng ulitin kasi sabi nila na max out mo. There is no such thing as a maxing out provided na ikaw ang consumer. Oo, siguraduhin na ikaw yon at ikaw lang talaga. Because, sad to say also, na-abuse din naman siya.
Thank you. Sige, let's have our last question for this
Si
round.
Sir Albor of DVMF. Ari usa ko ni Dr. Maribojoc. Kining matubag ra ni sa yes or no kay kaganina nag-ingon man ka doktor nga ang iro og magbiga bisag layo ra siya unya masimhutan sa laki. Yes or no, asa may bigaon ang mananap o ang tao?
Sige. Pwede na sa siguro dili na lang ni mo to bagondok ato lang we in the interest of time, sir.
Pero walay Malaysia to ha. Okay,
Sige.
ari kang Dr. Loreche. Older adult naman ko. Doon na naman to'y balaod nga napasar pinaagi sa National Commission of Senior Citizens 1,000 a month or 3,000 per quarter. Kano sa man ang ma-implementar, Dok?
It is being implemented, sir. That's for the social pension for the indigency population. And it is DSWD currently handling that. No? Wala pa na siya na transition na hatag sa NCSC. But hoping kami that by year end, when we have already completed establishing all the regional offices with adequate manpower, that should be transferred to us for next year.
All right, thank you so much to our panelists. Before we segue to our COMGAP and welcome our next set of panelists here, we would like to give them the opportunity to give their closing statements for all of our viewers. Let's start with Dr. Jess.
Right now, sa condition nato o sa climate nato na na-experience, so be hydrated, not only of you, ourselves, including us here, but also we have to consider the welfare of our animals. So be hydrated, both animals and human.
Thank you very much, Doc Jess. And finally, Doc Loreche.
Thank you, Andy and Eric, no? Thank you so much. And ang akong panawagan lang is, for the older adult population, number 1, you register. Kasi kailangan natin yan, especially when you want to avail of the 80, 85, 90, 95, no? Nga benefit ninyo. And it's also good to be counted. Number 2, we are developing, by the way, a dashboard for our data for Region 6 and 7, where the dashboard will already show and reflect where you are staying, what calamities or risks you may be faced with, including your medical conditions and your mga maintenance meds. So we are going to come up with it very soon. So we will be able to give the necessary promotions, programs, implementations, especially on health and wellness.
Atong pakpakan atong mga panelists, thank you so much, Dr. Loreche and Dr. Maribojoc, for gracing us with your time and presence, and of course, for all of your inputs shared. O mga kauban, mubalik ang Open Line News Media Forum with our next 2 panelists when we return after these few reminders from our partners.
And your family, and be certain with your future with Fidelity Life. It has been a long-time dedicated partner of IMG that provides life insurance benefit exclusively to its members to meet their risk protection needs. In partnership with Everest Memorial Services, Fidelity Life is also providing its members with free access to 24/7 Memorial Concierge Services. With the consent of the beneficiary, Fidelity Life shall apply the insurance benefit to cover the expenses for the memorial services of the deceased member. At Fidelity Life, the care of our members and their families is our first and most important business. Be life confident by protecting your loved ones and securing your future.
Someday, you will get older, slower, grayer, but also wiser, calmer, and freer than ever. At Kaiser, we help you prepare for those years ahead, so you can keep doing what you love with the people that matter the most. Prepare for your future today. Kaiser International Health Group, the first name in healthcare.
Kaiser Medical Center provides a wide array of diagnostic and medical care services, ranging from immediate quality medical care to consultation to individuals and companies all over the Philippines. And because we value your health, our ultimate goal is to be your partner in health and wellness, even long after your visit with us. Kaiser Medical Center is a diagnostic clinic equipped with highly committed and experienced professionals willing to provide you with excellent healthcare service, focused on health and wellness at all times. Our aim is to have a consistent, lifelong relationship with our patients by providing convenient and affordable quality medical care and consultation which is preventive and curative in a happy, safe, and friendly environment. Kaiser Medical Center, 𝗙𝗲𝗄𝗃.
Before IMG,
I was a civil engineer.
Accountant.
I was a plain housewife.
Before IMG, I used to be a doctor.
I was a maintenance crew.
Factoring operator.
I'm a housewife.
I was an accounting clerk.
I am a medical doctor.
I am an engineer.
Before IMG, I used to be a teacher.
I was a government employee.
A production worker.
I am a bank employee.
Before IMG, I was an admin staff.
I was a seaman.
A design engineer.
I was a deli manager.
I was a telecom engineer.
Before IMG, I was quality director.
I used to be a doctor. Production operator. An industrial engineer.
IT home-based freelancer.
Before IMG, I was a manufacturing specialist.
I was an exporter.
Admin officer.
I was a florist.
Before IMG, I was a service crew.
I'm great.
I am great.
I am
G. I am great. IMG. IMG.
IMG. I am great. I am
MG.
I am great.
I am great.
I am great.
Back to Open Line News Media Forum, and this time we are welcoming two more panelists to the show. Sir Eric, please introduce them.
Yes, unahon na to ang Cebu City Councilor o ang inila, labi na sa North District, Councilor Joel Garganera. And then on my right is JP Maunes founder sa PADS ug namoy kuan upcoming kuan no sangka sa Italy pag yun.
Yes. All right. So let's start the discussion mga kauban with Councilor Garganera. In line gihapon ni connected gihapon ni sa atong gihisgutan kaganiha with our first two panelists no kining nagkagrabe nga kainit sa panahon, and it's very timely that Councilor Garganera heads the committee on the disaster risk reduction management. Unsa naman ato ang mga lakang aron pagtubag ni ining nagkagrabe nga problema sa El Nino?
Well, as early as last year, no, sa Marso, na naman nagdeklara naman tag state of preparedness. Kaya ato mang nakita, pinaagi pod sa pag-asa nga naging muabot gid nga huraw. Tuod man pagka November last year, naka-experience na ta og below normal nga rainfall, no. Labayaw na kaniadtong Enero, grabe na gyud, no. Niabot ng tag 58%, no, ang kibra, no. And then may gani pagka Pebrero, grabe ang atong nasinati nga uwan, medyo niabot lang tag 26, no, porsyento ang atong deficit sa rainfall. But sa Marso niabot gitag 83. No? Usually in the month of March, we'll be expecting like mga kapitutam uwan, no? Pero tulura niya, habo-habo na to siya nga uwan, ha? So mo na nga, karong umaabot Abril nga to sa Mayo, murag mangandam yun tag Mayo, kay gani, bago lang ako nabisita ang kabukiran, niya to sa Lusaran, di nasa dito ang atong water source dito, niubos yun. No, niubos ni kibra tawag mga 20 ngantos 30% ang atong output nato dito. Unya ang atong mga tanom, mga farmlands nato, mga 50% na apektaran gyud niya. Makita man nimo nang liki gid nato mga kayutaan, no. Unya karon sa Abril we're embracing yun sa medyo grabe until the month of May. Mutubag lang sad ko na magutoy niingon ang pag-asa nga will be experiencing ko no kaning heat index na to moabot og 51. For the record lang, the last time nga naka-experience ta niya na lahi ng heat index mo na siya lahi sa ng air temperature. Ang air temperature is siyempre ang init sa hangin, ang index ang init pamanit na to, no. The last time naka-experience siya ta diri sa Sugbo was in 1990 pa. That was the year nga Typhoon Ruping sad after, no. So dili ni ingon bag-o nato na sinati ning El Nino. In fact ang recurrence niya is between 2 to 7 years. The last time nag El Nino ta was in 2018, 2017, around that time, no. So ang atong mga farmers nato sa kabukiran, syempre as early as last year nasayod na sila. Ug unsa kainit ni siya nya daghan gid nga nangaparot pod nato nga mga tanom, no. So atong gibuhat karon last week gideklarar nato Sir Rene ang Eric, no, ang gideklarar nato ang state of calamity, no. Diin magamit sa nato ang funding nato sa quick response funds nato. And at the same time, mga barangay pod sa 28 ka mountain barangays magagamit pod sa ilaha. Karon pong hapuna gitakda pod ang atong executive session diin tukion ang katong 96 million nga budget nga gi-endorse pod sa disaster council, diin 80 million dito gagahin para sa agrikultura. Ug mo nay tukion karon kay gipangimbitar nato ang mga kapitan, at the same time tanang department head as well as ang disaster and ang agriculture og ilahan ng isaysay ilatid po nila og unsa ang mga pagabuhaton niya ng 80 milyones. But that is aside sa budget po sa QRF. So mo na atong gibuhat karon nga dili tingali ingon nga gawasan niya na nagpadayon po ng atong paghatod og mga tubig, no, sa atong sa disaster team nato sa DPS o sa MCWD ngadto pod sa mga areas nato nga diin wala gid taon sila makatagamtam og tubig.
Now that you've brought that up, konskining issue sa kakuwangon sa tubig ug ang MCWD, kamusta naman ang mga lakang karon sa City Council, Konski? Na-mention mangguto during the guesting of Councilor 𝗟𝗶𝗲 nga mubuhat ko no og lakang ang City Council aron atong ma-follow up ang pagpapirma sa pagpaagas sa pipila ka mga bukirang barangay sa dakbayan sa Cebu nga pending pagidaw gihapon karon, and according to claims this is because of the ongoing feud between the city government and MCWD.
Yeah, there were I guess nay mga uban nga mga diggings nga wa matagaig permit, no, as per city government sad nay mga kalapasan sad nga nahimo, no, nga that is their version, no, nga nay mga kalapasan nga gihimo yan nay uban pod nga mga diggings nga wala nila ma-rectify, no, nga sa akong pagsabot it pose hazard and danger sa mga commuters ba. But I'm very confident nga ma-resolve na siya karon. Well, kita nasayod man ta sa mga panagbangi karon, no, sa dakbayan sa Cebu tali ning MCWD, and I hope sa mas gugma ba they should not just look at each other but look forward together in one direction kana ang paghatag gidug saktong serbisyo pinaagi sa pagdagayday sa maong tubig ngadto sa atong mga konstituente.
Councilor mangutana lang ko, based on your experience being the point man in terms of disaster, is this the worst that Cebu City has experienced, looking backwards and looking forwards? Do we expect worse heat indexes, air temperature indexes?
Yeah, as per ganina lang ni naghinabi, no, sa taga-X nga taga-Pag-asa, we'll be experiencing an increase tungod kay El Nino man taron, a 1.5 degrees Celsius increase for the next 2 months. I mean, this month of April and month of May. Usually sa month of April, mo average naman tag 32.6 degrees. So we're talking here about 34, no? Unya sa buwan sa Mayo, so we're talking here also about 35 degrees. Ang kanang mga range maguna siya between 26 to 35, no? Usually ang kanang 26 karong buwan si Manaha nag-average lang tag between 26 to 32. Diin ang 26 usually na sa alas 5 ngadto sa alas 6 sa buntag. Ang pinakainit gid nato, sir, and is between 12 noon and 1 o'clock. No, so maugi na atong tan-awon unya karon sa ang atong init pud sa atong dagat tungod kay sa unang panahon og mabugnaw na gani ang yuta, labi na mata panahon sa gabi mabugnaw mo pud ang dagat, pero karon init gid ang dagat, kay dali ra mo bugnaw ang yuta, ang surface kaysa diha sa dagat. So we'll be embracing yun nga medyo init-init gyud sa maabot, no. Nga ako lang yung kabalag-an, Sir Eric, no, nga sa unang panahon kita atong maabot na gitag Abril, Mayo, bakasyon naman na. Pero ang karon nahitabo manggod ting eskwela naman noon, no. So maluoy ko sa mga kabataan nga labi na sa mga eskwelahan nga dili maayo og ventilation nga they are exposed to that, no. But so far karon sa atong mga report pud sa DepEd o sa mga pribado pud nga mga eskwelahan, wala pa mabasad ta moabot niya ng puntuha tungod tingali pod nga maayo man ang ventilation pod sa atong mga tunghaan.
Cons, clarification aning state of calamity, this is only for the affected mountain barangays or is this for the entire city of Cebu?
This is intended for the 28 mountain barangays. Kay mo maging naapektaran kita naapektar sa atoa tungod kay wala tay minus ang pressure sa tubig, minus ang agas, but ang ato sa kabukiran ang panginabuhian manggod, no, naapektaran manggod ang ilahang panginabuhian diin mo ilang gisaligan pod, no. So that's the reason why nga atong gideklarar. But as per report naman to diri ganina si Ma'am Kuan, si Doc Jessica, Of the 28 barangays, nasa tayo naapektaran mga around 9 barangays there is Mama, Samas Guadalupe, Lahog, Talamban nga who are raising hogs and livestock, no? So usasa na sa atong tukion karong hapuna if ever we will also be including those barangays that are experiencing pod nga naikadaot pod sa ilahang mga livestock and hogs, but tingali ato lang tangali ng per hog raiser lang tangali na depende na og unsay makabutrong hapon.
Usasad ba sa inyong agenda karong hapon, Cons, ang kaning 96.9 million pesos nga budget for El Nino preparedness and response?
Yes, ang kaning siya nga budget was passed last November pa niya na form part niya sa budgeting diha sa Disaster Council, and it was endorsed to me the other week it was endorsed to me the other week lang. Ang ako magong usual practice if ever na ay mga ipanaog ang Disaster Council, I always call for an executive session kay di man tuod chairman ta sa environment or sa disaster, but I don't want to impress anyone that I have the monopoly of knowledge, no, ni ani. So mas maayo gid na ang end user, which in this particular case ang City Agriculture, ang DVMF, veterinarian, ang disaster team, sila gi manubag, no, og unsa ni siya ang mga budget. I might be knowledgeable about some aspect, but considering how we've been inviting also other barangay captains and of course subject to scrutiny by members of the council, mas maayo gid nato nga ang makatubag yun ang nangayo ni ining mao nga budget.
Alright, so di pa ta mo segue sa tong next panelist. Cons, if we may insert a slightly political question. Lain sa nga init nga issue. Kabahin sa imong mga plans this 2025. Na ba kay pwedeng ma-share na mo karong buntaga?
You know, I've been in politics at such a tender age. I was a barangay captain at 21. No, way back in 1989. I graduated sa UP sa college in 88. And I ran for councilor. But at that time, collegial system to Sir Eric. Ang kandidato nga mahimong number 1, makapitan. And then since then, wala gid. I've been into public service. No, that's 35 years. So, kamo, this area here, wala pa mo mga tao, no? Don't ask about my age. Never mind. No? So, politics to me, or public service, is synonymous to me. No? So, I don't usually plan about it. Sometimes, you know, when I ran for city councilor, I did it 3 times. 3 in a row I ran, and I always ranked number 9. No? But then, katulo ko na hagma, kaupat na sa kunibangon. No? So, this is where I am right now. And then, of course, this is my supposedly 3rd term, but if you notice, in 2019, I was delayed. No? Wala man ko ma-induct into office because I ranked number 9 until such time na there were na-remove sila from the COC, Certificate of Candidacy, that was in July. So there was an interruption in my term as a lawyer, ma'am. No? If there's an interruption, if you were not able to serve your full term, although there is a legal, there is a COMELEC opinion regarding the matter, but I don't want to sound legalistic about it, but that's a plain and simple interruption of which I have nothing to do about it. No, it was not of my own doing, no? And so there's an interruption. So in other words, this is still my 1st term. But let us not talk about it. I can run or I may not run. But right now, as chairman of the committee on environment and the disaster, atong buang tanan nando. Sahay ko kaning politika mo na makadaot serbisyo sa Eric, di ba? No, mo na hinungdan nga ang mahatag na to mapugnan. That should not be the case.
What would you consider, Cons, new position for 2025?
Anything
like, say, representative of the North District.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the North. Why not? No? And when you talk about experience, I have 35 years of experience. And academic-wise, kung ano noon ko, public naman noon ko, nag-high school and college naman ko sa UP, pero okay na tanghali na, no? and then also, ug natistingan na sa tanghali niyo akong serbisyo, I was at the helm in the COVID response, no? That's for 2 years. We were facing a blank wall at the time, but somehow, I may not be perfect, but we managed to survive, no? So, tested naman sa ta, but I'm not, it's his time, in his time. No? If I see signs or unsa, but I'm not so, di makita kuan, no?
But given this length of public service, Cons, daghan naman ang mga ni-express publicly silang interest to run for mayor of Cebu City. Have you been receiving several invitations to run under their banner?
Yes. But I am with the current administration, and ako ra tangali, wa magyo kasuway nang mo switch ever since, no? Since I became a barangay captain, at bang ginako na ang ruling party, no? And then karon lang na kuyog me, I'm not in the habit or of transferring, hopping from one party to another. I always stick to it in good and bad times.
All right, thank you very much, Councilor Garganera. Og karon kani sila di mo dagan pero mo bugsay, Sir Eric. So atong i-welcome si JP Maunes. JP, we heard that you have an upcoming competition, this time in Italy. So can you tell us about your preparations? And by the way, if we could also show on screen ang iyang mga kauban, no?
Yes. So
kauban sa nato na diri sa open line.
Yes, so
ayan.
The PADS Dragon Boat team, we are proud to be based here in Cebu. I think the only Cebu-based team who have competed in the World Championships has been invited once again by the International Dragon Boat Federation through our mother federation, the Philippine Dragon Boat Federation, to defend our World Championship title at the 14th IDBF World Club Crew World Championships, which will be held in Ravenna, Italy, this coming September 3 to 9, 2024. Yes. So it's an honor for us to be invited again and defend the World Championship, in which for the second time, and then ang atuang World Cup na title, we successfully won it twice also. So fourth ni nato na World Championship appearance. And we know that it's very challenging financially. So we are here to ask the support of the community to help us with our fundraising campaign. And I would like to personally acknowledge our team, fundraising team headed by our Marketing and Promotions Manager, Mr. 𝗟𝗲𝗄𝗀, our strength and conditioning coach, Coach 𝗟𝗲𝗄𝗺, and our team captains and our active paddlers, led by our team captain, Mr. Captain Monching Noguera, Ken Tumangan, and then also Mr. Erickson Victoria, and our physical therapist, Miss Jendi Barty. So I think Sir Jay would like to talk about the fundraising efforts of PADS and how the community can support our efforts.
Kuan, kabantay ko pag ingon nimo JP fundraising, wa kanita na ni Councilor kuan. Garganera lagi. Laina nimo, no?
I'm also doing my fundraising.
Yes, so good morning everyone. So I'm 𝗟𝗲𝗄𝗀. I'm handling the marketing and promotions for PADS. So we're very, very excited because we launched our fundraising campaign yesterday. We have a lot of merchandise, brand merchandise that we're selling. Not only our shirts but also gears for Dragon Boat and also accessories. So our first product line that we released yesterday is our training shirts. So these are our 4 designs for our training shirts. So our design 1 is worn by Jendi. And then our second design is by Kent. And then third by our team captain, Monching, and Erickson. So aside from our shirts, we will be also releasing a new product line almost every week. We have jerseys, we have hoodies, we have caps. We also have brand collaborations with local brand shirts, merchandise that we can promote local products. And then these products will be available on our social media platform. We're also building our brand new website, which you can also buy our merchandise there. We are working with Lazada, Shopee, and Amazon for our international fans, that they can also purchase directly. And the good thing is that we ship worldwide. So I invite you all to visit our Facebook page and Instagram page so that you can help with our journey to the World Championships this coming September. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you and best of luck to all of you. Good luck and thank you so much for representing the Philippines. JP, so far this is your fourth sa IDBF?
Yes, fourth ni nato, duha magud ni ka type of World Championship, the recent one was last August, which is the World Cup of Nations, meaning to say the top 18, top 20 world in the world mag-compete. And then this year is the club crew, meaning to say we are able to bring in our sponsors' name, our pads name to the World Championship. So each country will be endorsed by our mother federation sa Philippines, ang Philippine Dragon Boat Federation endorsed pads to represent Philippines as a club crew team. So there are I think 4 in the Philippines, but kita ang para-dragon division, kita ang mo represent sa atuang nasud.
What's may mga lessons learned sa mga previous ninyo mga race, and how are you improving this year?
So it has been very challenging every year, nagkataas ang level sa competition. For this year's version, naanatay around 10 teams, from all over the world that will be competing. Tong last year, kuha na to 4 or 5 na national teams. But this one, we are around 10 teams and growing pa ongoing pa ang registration sa mga countries. And it's very challenging for us kay kita mo nasa top. So a lot of countries are really scouting the team and also really looking into how they can really compete with us on a higher level. So proud sad ta kay of all sports ang Dragon Boat nakita gud na taas gid tag maabot sa Dragon Boat. So we are really trying our best also we have worked around with our strength and conditioning coaches, si Coach Richard, si Jendi for our rehabilitation para to ensure na naagid sa highest level of performance ang atuang mga athletes.
JP, kasi pinakaduol na itong manay gitawag o kompetensya pagka champion ka ha?
For us, sa akong experience last year, ang Canada yun, kay 0.03 seconds sa Gilabos, Philippines ato para makuha na to ang gold. So I think they will be coming back to really snatch that gold sa World Championship.
What do you think will be our edge this time?
Ang atong edge good ani is our ang training, because in other countries, particularly European, North American countries, naaman sila off-season because of the climate nila, weather nila, But for us, lifestyle na ang Dragon Boat sa ato. So, every day ta nagbugasay. All season long, wala mag-ilag, El Nino.
Na, JP, mangutan ako kay you were talking about fundraising and then serious na kanibang nabamoy lagda nga kontra sa paggamit og mga sponsors sa inyong mga t-shirt? Wala.
Wala, no? So
you're open to accepting sponsorship, and you wouldn't mind wearing the seal of Cebu City siguro, no?
No, that's one advantageous opportunity for this year's World Championship. Kaya pwede na tumada ang mga brands sa atong mga sponsors.
Apil ang Cebu City.
Apil atong mga Cebu City. And
nakabisita na mo kang Mayor Mike Rama o sa kay Vice Mayor Kuan Garcia o ang Cebu City Kuan Council?
Recently, in the past few weeks, no, we'd like to take this opportunity na sa support sa atong mga local government units. Sa Cebu City, we are, I think, gilihok na sa office ni Councilor Dondon Ontiveros and the office of Mayor Mike Rama ang incentives sa tuang mga athletes, Cebu City-based athletes na nakadaog sa last World Championship. And then formally na turn over pod ang katuang donated na dragon boat, no, sa Cebu City to pads na magamit gyud nato sa atuang training karon. And also nag-file, we are very happy na nag-file pod og resolution ang City Council sa Cebu City to reimburse the expenses of the Cebu City based athletes sa last year na World Championship. So malipayon kay mi na muna ang turnout na support nato sa Cebu City government, and we're hoping that for this year's version mausab pud ang atoang ang support na makuha sa atoang team, not only sa Cebu City but we are also grateful to other partner LGUs like Mandawi City, wherein ang diinta nag-training, and ang constant support pod sa Mandawi City government, Lapu-Lapu, and all other local government units wherein naa ang ato ang mga paddlers.
All right, sige Sir Eric. So now let's give the remaining time for our friends from the media for their questions for either Councilor Garganera or JP. Guys, the mic stand is now open for questions.
Thank you. Okay.
Dako ba mo tingog?
Yeah. On, sir.
Thank you. Cons, kini interesting issue kani kay doon naman ko'y pag-import ba sa basketball pa. Si Councilor Dondon Ontiveros from South District mura gi-import ngadto sa may North District. Gani nabahin ang opinion, no, sa pipilay ka mga politiko mismo gani mga butante sa North District. Why man nganong si Dondon nagbasabot ba nga wala ang capable inaara ni Dondon ang abilidad nga kamo lumad taga North District, doon ay surbi nga gipigayon ang inyong partido, apil ka Dondon, kining uban pa mga councilors nga interesado kay naibuan ako medyo murag tulo na lay mahabilin, no, nga mga incumbent, no, uban mga last termer na sila, so naibaganting 5 sa konseho, pero kangris may paghisgutan na to o kining issue karon sa kang Dondon, so may imong reaksyon kung say feedback sa taga North District. The same bus nakuha na ko mga information Konsehal Joel Garganera ang panday sa Konsehos Dagbayan.
Kanang kalamidad ang imong pangutana. Anyway, well, talking about Dondon sad, no, he might be residing in the district, the South District, and got elected in the South District. But bear in mind, he was also a vice mayor. So he represents the city. And bear in mind also that Dondon, even before in his public service days, he represents Cebu, not just Cebu City, but the entire Cebuanos. He cannot be a hotshot here without representing the entire island, no? Proud Bisaya, no? So I don't see that area ang political delineation will judge on that, no? He's been our vice mayor before. He might be elected in the south, but he can represent Cebu anywhere in whatever capacity. So I really don't mind. I really don't mind. That's within our party, and then that can be also resolved within the party. But insofar as I'm concerned, Don Don is a very good material. No, he has the star power, he has the passion, and he has the energy. No, so to me, these are very good qualities of a good representative. And also in Manila, which is maginay kapuyan sa mga congressman dito, he's been there for the longest time, so he has also connection. He has other players in the PBA who are now also congressmen. No, so don't count him out. No, he could be a good representative.
So, wala pang si Kawan, si artista, si Iyap, and then Anabil Rama, di ba? Iyaan ni Cebu City, Mayor Mike Rama. So, polos mga celebrities, no?
Ninya dahil, celebrity mo.
Oh, speaking of Ninya, murag. No, di lang komentaryo. Pero